Welcome back everybody, I'm Tassie with Tassie Eats, and today I'm having a new type of ramen I haven't had before. I've seen this at one of our local Asian markets here in the Twin Cities, but it's kind of far away from me. It's like 30 minutes away in St. Paul, so I didn't want to go over there and get it. But the funny thing is, I was in California and we were at an Asian market and I actually saw this ramen. So I ended up grabbing it in California and then I flew with it back to Minnesota. So this is actually the Paldo Cheese Ramen. And it just says cheese fromage, which is French for cheese ramyun. And so I've never had it. I've seen some people post like online that they actually really liked it. So I was excited when I saw it. And one thing to note, you guys, the Paldo here, there's only 4 packs that come into that set. Normally there's like 5 packs of ramen in there, but there's only 4. So this is kind of on the pricier end for this one here. And where I bought this in Fresno, California, it was like $5, $6. So I'm not sure how much it is here in Minnesota, but I'm thinking it's probably around the same. It could be $6 to $7. But anybody who wants to know in the Twin Cities, I know this is available at the Ha Tien off of Suburban and 94. All right, so this is actually like a cheese ramen. And when I opened it, it comes with 3 different sauces in here. So this is like what they call the soup powder. So as you're boiling the ramen, put the soup powder in there. And I actually put the veggies in there. It's just green onions, dehydrated. And then the cheese one you add on top afterwards. After it's done cooking, you add it and then you mix it. Now, I have slices of cheese on the side because this is a cheese ramen. I'm expecting it to be cheesy. And if it's not cheesy enough, I'm just going to put some sliced cheese on there. And I have my spoon here. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I actually got a little sick when I came back from California. My nose and everything and breathing is fine. It's really just my throat and my voice. I'm kind of losing it. So, ooh, okay. So I added this cheese packet right before I started filming. And this is still pretty hot. But I did notice that the broth has gotten a little thicker. All right, let's try out the broth. It's good. It's not spicy. It's definitely good. It has a good flavor. And you can taste the cheese, but just know the cheese is like the powder like you find in Kraft mac and cheese. Yeah, it's definitely, it doesn't taste like regular cheese, you guys. It doesn't taste like this kind of cheese, which I'm actually going to add in there. Maybe I'll try the ramen first alone. But, so I've had some Asian snacks that has that kind of cheese. But it tastes like mac and cheese kind of cheese. Like the powder, salty, artificially. The noodles actually take on the cheese flavor, which is pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely not bad. So far I do like it. So, it's pretty good on its own. I'm going to add the sliced cheese just to see if it tastes better. Because, you know, like, I mean, it's good, but just know, you guys, it has that mac and cheese, powder cheese flavor to it. I'll put in 1 for now. And then if I decide I want another one, I'll add another one. I do like cheese in ramen. Some people might think that's kind of weird, but it's actually really good. There's this hot and sour curry-like ramen, and I always put sliced cheese in there, and then it makes it taste like it's coconut curry type of ramen. So it's really good. And the funny thing is, like, there's recipes with like cheese and rice, like fried rice with cheese. It's actually, melted cheese is actually really good. And if that sounds kind of weird, there was this Korean food truck around the Twin Cities, Gogi Brothers, I think it is. And they had this thing called tiger balls, which is really just kimchi fried rice. And they deep fry it, but in the center, there was mozzarella cheese. It was super good. But just imagine like you're eating like Mexican style rice and there's melted cheese, or like in your burrito and there's melted cheese with the rice. It's really good. And this is 2 packs of ramen. Yeah, it's a lot more cheesier now that I put the sliced cheese in here. I am debating about adding ghost pepper to this. I really don't want to change the flavor too much. I kind of want to enjoy the flavor. And every year, you guys, I always get sick whenever I'm going to move. It never fails. Every time I move, I get sick. Now, when I was in California to visit my family, my niece, she's sick. She was sick. And she got one of my sisters sick. And I went to go do the filming for In-N-Out Burger. And then I was eating in the car and they were eating in the restaurant. And afterwards, I set my drink down. And I took my niece to go wash her hands. And when I came back, my sister, who was sick, she had switched our cups out on where it was placed in the car. So I drank it and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I drank out of your cup. And she was like, I should be sorry because I'm sick. And I was like, no. So yes. Now, her throat hurt too. And she was starting to get like the fever, like a fever. Oh God. And, you know, like, when you're not used, because, you know, I live alone, I'm not used to a lot of germs around me. Like, I'm, like, in this bubble here. So, when I went to stay with my mom and them, there was, like, 7 people in the household, and there's germs everywhere, you guys. So, it was definitely a shocker for my system. The veggies that they put in here, it's like the green onion. You don't really notice it. I do like how thick the broth is though, because of the cheese. It is really good though. And you know, in California, when it's like 59 degrees, it's cold. It's chilly, you guys. I was so confused. I didn't know like what to wear every day. It's like, here in Minnesota, if it's 59 degrees, it's hot. It's like, it's warm. It's pretty good. Like, you don't need a jacket. And because we have the humidity here in Minnesota, but in California, it's like a dry kind of a heat. So when it's 59 degrees, it's chilly. It's not humid, so it's really chilly. But then like an hour later, it would be like so nice and warm. And then it'd be chilly again. So I'm like, what the heck? Nobody wore shorts. Everybody was in pants. I was the only person wearing shorts and a dress. I only got one lady who stared at me, but I'd have to say that, like, we went to Sacramento on my last day, and Sacramento, honestly, Fresno and Sacramento both surprised me on the size of the cities. We had no idea how big it was. Like, I just assumed it was like Madison, Wisconsin. Like, Fresno was like a tiny town in Wisconsin. Their prices are like Wisconsin prices. It's pretty cheap there because everything there is like, a lot of the stuff that I noticed, it was about $1 or $2 less than we sell here in Minnesota. Like, rent is pretty cheap there. I heard like in some of the more expensive area of Fresno, it can cost as much like here in Minnesota for a nice place as well. But oh, the people there were really nice that I've met or I've seen. I heard crazy stories there in Fresno, but I didn't see any of it. Like, I was probably the loudest person when I went, but as far as like the people, they're really like mindful of, you know, like they have like good manners. They're not very rude or like they keep to themselves a lot, especially like in stores. They don't bump into people. You know, like in the city here, I feel like we're always in such a rush and there's so much to do, and I feel like we are more a bit rambunctious than like in Fresno. I don't know though. It could have just been the areas I went to. I'm not really sure. But everybody I talked to that out there that I met, they were all really nice. Most of them were guys. So I don't really know. I don't know. They were just not like, I didn't go to the bars or anything. But I definitely went to, I mean, my sister invited me or asked me if I wanted to go to a club or a bar. And I was being like snobby because I was like, this is Fresno. Like, I don't want to go to no bar in Fresno. Because I was like, because in my head, it's like going to a bar in like Wisconsin. It's not that exciting. I don't know. Like, sorry for anybody in Wisconsin. But I'm imagining it to be a small town. Like, they have one bar, maybe. They don't, you guys. It's a bigger city than that. But in my head, I thought it was like this tiny town. But there's over like 500,000 people who live in Fresno. And in San Francisco, there's 800,000. Like, just in that actual area. Not like what they call the Bay Area. The Bay Area is far and wide, you guys. It is not what I would call a Bay Area. Because I will talk to people and they'll be like, oh, I'm from the Bay Area. But I'm thinking the Bay is just where San Francisco is. The actual part of just San Francisco. But it'll be like everything down to San Jose. They call that like the Bay Area. And I'm like, that's like not the Bay Area in my head. But, so, yeah. Just San Francisco, it's got like 800,000 people who live there compared to like Fresno is 500,000. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people in Fresno. This is my first time ever there. So before I go, one of the crazy stories I heard. So like, I'm not used to living with like 8 other people. So like when I woke, every morning when I wake up, like my siblings are finding out like I eat often. And so like as soon as I wake up, I'll be sitting in bed and I'm like looking around, and then they're like waking up and they're like, oh, hi Tassie. And then I'm like, I'm hungry. But the thing is, when you have like 7 to 8 people, it's better to cook because it's going to cost a lot less. But I'm used to like, it's just me or my boyfriend and we just go out and grab food. Or if we do cook, it's more like an afternoon, evening thing to prepare more food and the time to do it. Not right when I wake up. So we didn't grab like breakfast food to make in advance. So I'm like, can we just like go get some breakfast somewhere and bring a bunch back for everybody? So I wanted to go grab McDonald's for everybody. And my sister was like, oh, are we going to do the drive-thru? And I'm like, no, let's go in because we're going to order a lot of food. And then she was like, okay. And she was quiet for a bit. And then like she took us to a pretty far away McDonald's. And I was like, why did she take us here? It's so far away. And apparently the one that's closer to them. So my mom and one of my sisters and my niece, they were eating there. And it was like on the news because, you know, like when you go to like a fast food joint and they're taking a while to make your food. So they have you go and park and then they bring the food out to you, right? So one of the employees had did that once. And then as I returned to the building, the person in the car threw a knife into their back. And I was like, what? And the employee ran into the building with the knife on their back still. And it was like, it changed the rules for them. In that area, they do not bring food out for you. Basically, it doesn't matter how long the line is and how long it's taking you to get your food. You wait by the window and then they will just hand you the food. So I was like, okay, let's not go to that McDonald's. That was like really scary. That was like a scary story. And I will have to say though, when I went to the McDonald's in Fresno, they have the machines. And I'm not going to lie, I have not been in a McDonald's in a few years. It's been a few years since I've been in a McDonald's. But they actually have a machine kiosk that you just order from the machine. It was kind of cool. And I liked it because we were ordering a ton of food. We ordered like $60 worth of McDonald's. But it was a good thing because then my other nieces and nephews, they just surprised us and appeared in the morning. I felt so bad that we didn't grab extra food, but I didn't know they were coming over. But I bought like some extras on the side because I got everybody like that big deluxe thingy. It comes with like pancakes and meat and all that stuff. And I got them like hash browns and all that stuff, and then I got extra just in case people were still hungry. So it was definitely a good thing I got extra. I felt so bad. It was definitely a ton of fun going to Cali. I hate plane rides. I'm not scared of them, but I get so bored. I hate just sitting there and I can't leave. I can't do anything. So I hate that. And I'm an aisle person. I like to sit in the aisle. I don't like to sit by the window. I don't like to sit in the center. I like to be in the aisle. Alright, you guys. I'm done eating. This was actually pretty good. I would definitely recommend you guys trying this, especially if you like to eat ramen and you want to try different types of ramen. This is definitely something that I think is really good for you to just check out and see if you like it. And again, this is the Paldo brand, the cheese fromage ramyun. Thanks for watching, you guys.